Hey besties, it's Nurse Cheung, your favorite go-to educator, and we're going to be talking about navigating the ATI TEAS. There are some recommendations that I have, and really they're my top 5 recommendations that you need to do if you fail the ATI TEAS or if you really don't get the score that you had expected that you were going to get. So my first step, step 1, don't freak out and don't get discouraged. Coming to terms with the fact that you didn't pass the ATI TEAS can be tough. I'm really not going to sugarcoat that. Your emotional and mental well-being is super important during this time because you're ultimately going to need to use that in order to push you forward. It's okay to feel disappointed, and it's okay to feel like you maybe didn't do as well as you did. But at the end of the day, do not let this test define you. Take a moment to breathe, step back, give yourself the credit for the courage that you actually took in order to get this far, and remember that this is just a pit stop on your journey. It's not the final destination. Step 2, we're going to want to do a little bit of ATI TEAS detective work to create our study plan. Once you've completed the exam, the scores are usually available right away at the testing center, but you're going to want to get that full detailed report. So you're going to have to go back and log into your ATI TEAS test account. You're going to go select the test that you just took and pull up an individualized performance profile. This performance profile is like your academic fingerprint. It's unique to you and shows what subjects you rocked and which ones, well, rocked you. The first page is going to be your list of total scores for all sections that were on the test. That includes your reading, your math, your science, and that English language usage. This is going to be your general idea of what areas you need to focus on when you're putting in that additional effort. You're also going to get an academic preparedness level, which tells you how your score stacks up against everybody else that's taken this test. Colleges are typically looking for proficient and advanced scores when it comes to dissecting your application. Slightly underneath all of that information is going to be a header called Topics to Review. This is going to give you a complete breakdown of what topics you need to spend more time on in order to beef up your study game. So for example, many of you are going to struggle in the science portion of the exam. If you look under that science portion, the plan will break down each category, including A&P, biology, chemistry, and scientific reasoning, with an individual score along with topics that you're going to need to study. This is how you're going to create your study plan as we move forward with our next test. Step 3 is know your retake policies and create a long-term plan around that policy. You might be telling yourself, so I didn't pass, how soon can I jump back in and take this test? Well, hold your horses, bestie, and refocus. Most schools and testing centers have a waiting period before you can retake this exam. This could be anywhere from 30 to 90 days depending on your school, and there's usually a limit of how many times you can actually retake it within a year. So for example, when I took the ATI TEAS, I had to wait 90 days between attempts and was only allowed 2 attempts per year with this particular college that I was trying to get into. It was a really competitive program, and I had to get a minimum of 76 within those 2 attempts in order to qualify. If we weren't selected for the program during that semester, our scores were only good for a year. So I had to pray that I would get accepted into the next semester, or I had to retake that test all over again. It was horrible, it was stressful, I don't recommend it. Once you understand the policies in those next steps, you're going to want to circle some potential dates on your calendars for a retake, right? We need to set our eyes. We need to be able to look at it. I want you to be strategic about it, and I don't want you to stretch yourself too thin. Considering your life schedule, your work commitments, or any other big things that you have going on in your life, take those things into consideration. The goal is to choose a retake date that gives you enough time to review thoroughly without feeling like you're in a pressure cooker trying to get everything done. Step 4 is I want you to create a study plan based on that timeline. So starting with this 30-day plan, this is how I would maximize the time that you have available. So week 1 is going to be your diagnosis and foundation week. Days 1 through 2, I want you to review that performance profile and diagnose those weakest areas. Write those areas down because you're going to need to spend a lot more time on those areas. Days 3 and 7 start with your overall weakest subjects. Dive into that foundational concepts because these are going to be the building blocks for everything else. Aim to kind of mix up your study methods too. Maybe you read, maybe you use interactive tools, maybe there's an app you can use, maybe there's a course, Maybe there's a study guide you can use available on nursecheung.com, shameless plug. Maybe even educational videos online. Whatever it is that you need to use in order to mix it up, do that. Week 2, we're going to use that as our intensive focus week. So days 8 through 14, we're going to continue with our second and third weakest subjects. By now, you should be getting comfortable with the basics and be more ready to tackle those more complex topics. Again, don't rush. Make sure you understand the why behind every single concept that you did poorly on. Week 3 is going to be our balanced review and practice week. So days 15 to 21, I want you to take a timed practice test to see how you are progressing, okay? We've already taken the initial test. We knew what we did bad. Now we're going to take a timed practice test to see how our studying is either helping us or not helping us. So start to balance those study sessions between those weak areas and those stronger ones. Start each day with a quick review of what you studied the previous day, and then introduce practice questions for all subjects, emphasizing your weak spots. It's very important that we now start to mix this information in because we're running out of days, right? We're already on day 21. We only have a week left. So with week 4, our test simulation and final review, we've got days 22 to 26. I want you to take another timed practice test to stimulate that exam experience. This is going to help you with stamina as well as time management when it comes to taking your ATI TEAS. Analyze your results and pinpoint those lingering weak areas. On days 27 through 29, I want you to focus on the areas that you're still struggling with. We need to get those areas down packed and deep dive into those topics and those practice-related questions in order to be successful on the exam. And then on day 30, this is the most important day, I want you to relax. You've already put in the work, you've already done the time. Take this day to relax. Maybe you can do a light review, but mostly I want you to rest your brain, because if you're still trying to cram information the day before you take your test, you're not going to be successful. I want you to be fresh and ready for test day. Throughout these 30 days, I want to make sure you're doing the following. Stay disciplined with your time. Dedicate specific hours each day to study and stick to them, okay? It's very important. Make sure you're taking breaks. Short, frequent breaks can help you prevent burnout and keep you fresh. You're not going to retain anything that you're learning if you don't take those breaks and provide your mind with rest. And then lastly, I want you to reflect and adjust. At the end of every week, take stock of what's working and what isn't working and tweak your plan accordingly. And lastly, our final step, step 5, is to look for additional resources and support. We're all in this together. There's a whole community and a mountain of material to help you conquer that ATI TEAS. The ATI TEAS official site has TEAS-specific material that's just really the beginning of everything that you need to know. If you're looking for free study guides, I highly recommend YouTube videos. There's a lot out there. They're very comprehensive. They break down all the topics that you're going to need to know. They're really good information. There's also free TEAS practice tests. They're located on the ATI TEAS websites. There's additional companies that also have them. Use those to your advantage. They are going to help you. If you're looking for like more premium study guides, I highly recommend my own personal study guides as well, because they are very comprehensive. Thousands of people have used them so far. Thousands of them have passed. It's been fantastic. I love getting all the messages from everybody that does so well. They help break down the information. They provide mnemonics to help you remember certain things. So highly, highly recommend those if that's something that you're looking for. If you're looking for like an all-encompassing course, there's a ton of different companies out there that offer that. Smart Edition Academy is one of them. They do a really great job of breaking down information when it comes to study plans that you're going to need for the full-length practice test. If you are interested in Smart Edition, I do have a link down in my description along with a discount code. If you're interested, please use that link. It helps support the channel and it also helps support you. Additionally, there's forums and online communities. So online forums are a place to connect with fellow TEAS takers. If you weren't already aware, I do have a Nurse Cheung free ATI TEAS study group. Really, it is a hub of information, everything that you're going to need to know for the exam. You're more than welcome to join that. It is free and available to you. And there you have it, besties. That's my top 5 rundown when it comes to the ATI TEAS. If it didn't go as you planned or if you failed. Remember, this is not the end of your story. It's literally just a plot twist. Thank you for tuning in. A huge thank you for being a part of the Nurse Cheung community, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.